Hello, this is David Chomet from Chomet Solutions. And with all of the news this week about Yanni and Laurel and all of the discussions about it, I wanted to talk about what that meant in terms of business. So let's get into it. Simply, you would have had to have been living under a rock for the last week to not know about this Yanni versus Laurel idea. And the real question with that has ultimately been if you listen to a certain audio, do you hear Yanni or do you hear Laurel? And this is similar to a story from last year about a blue dress and a red dress, or a blue dress and a gold dress, and what people heard, what the people thought they heard or thought they saw in the case of the dress. What's interesting about it to me is that people have already talked about if you slow the recording down or you speed it up, you're more likely to hear certain tones. And truthfully, I think the answer is, if anybody cares, the the answer is you hear both. And it's just a question of what kind of tones your ears are accustomed to hearing. But that's part of what I want to get at. You see, the real story behind this is that it boils down to the observer's interpretation of the same set of facts. What's clear from all of this is that nothing had been changed in the recording other than the speed at which it was being played back. And so it boils down to your interpretation and your ability to interpret that information that you are receiving. Now, what that means for us is that the way that we receive information, the expectations, the background that we bring to any analysis is an important part of the analysis itself. One of the most important things I realized as I got older and into my 30s was that everybody is wearing rose colored glasses. And your job in life is to figure out where your rose colored glasses are so that you can get around them. I mean, simply, we all have some form of confirmation bias, whether it's because of where we're from, our families, our education, previous experiences. And that's not to say that all confirmation bias is bad. You are looking to confirm. Oh, I should back up and tell you. What I mean by confirmation bias is the tendency to look for facts that support your side of the story. And remember, as people do that, the first question is, what's your story? And what validation do you seek through seeking your story? Because ultimately, that's what we're looking for. In an objective sense, we are scientists seeking to prove a theory. We start with a supposition, we start with an idea, and we try to prove it. We seek validation for it, but the downside is we unconsciously want to reinforce impressions that we already have. So the important thing that I'm trying to get across to you is sometimes what we are starting with doesn't make any sense. And in one of the things that I see in politics today, especially, but across the board, in business as well, is that people refuse to accept things that are outside of what they think they already understand. What do I mean by that? And here's the old Sherlock Holmes quote: "How often have I said to you that when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth?" In other words, sometimes if everything that you've considered, if everything you've done doesn't make sense, then maybe you need to change your understanding. How does this play out in a business sense? The art of listening is not to hear what someone says, but to hear how they feel. And what I mean by that is in your work, as you deal with employees, as you deal with vendors, as you deal with shareholders, it is critical for you to step outside of your own confirmation bias. It is critical for you to step out of what you think you understand and place yourself into their sphere so that they understand, so that you understand what they are thinking, where they are coming from. And by doing that, you will better connect with each of those constituencies, better connect with employees, better connect with your vendors and your suppliers, your customers. and better connect with your shareholders. Through that, you will be more successful, and you will have learned the true lesson of Yanni and the confirmation bias. Thank you very much. I'm Dave Chomet from Chomet Solutions, and I hope that you will like, subscribe, or comment below, and let me know what you think about this video. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.